Let's go branding. Let's go branding.
Let's go branding.
Welcome to another episode of Let's Go Branding with your host, Steve Albert.
All right, so we are here today with Jill and Bernie from Revived and Company, and they're going to tell us a little bit about what their small business is, what they do, and how they got to where they're at. And I want to thank you, Jill and Bernie, for being here today. I really appreciate it. I know you've had a busy day, and things get a little hectic. Anytime running a small business is always hectic, and then you got family and all that kind of stuff happening. So tell me, guys, Jill and Bernie, how did you come up with that name, Revived and Company? Like, where did that whole concept come from?
Originally, we was going to purchase an old church building,
Okay.
and we were going to have the Revived store in it. And so,
I think you're right about a hymn book.
yeah, I think there was an old hymn book there in it, I think's where we saw it.
Okay.
But it was revival, and so we did a little word
Just kind of a
What do you
play
want to
on
call it?
words there with
play on words, yeah. And we
Okay.
come up with revived because we thought you're taking old and making new.
Oh, well, that's perfect. That goes exactly with what you guys do there at Revived
Yeah.
Company. So you were originally going to try to open it up in an old church building, and
Yeah.
so that kind of inspired, what became Revived and Company. Now you're actually in an old school building, right?
Yeah.
In Clearfield, Pennsylvania, which is where Biographics is. And we've been friends for years and years, and I just really appreciate the amount of time and effort that you guys have put into creating your business and building it and working it. And it is hard work. And but you've become a real staple in our community, and you've done some awesome things there with that old school building. As much work as you put into it, it's just crazy. But so that's how Revived and Company, the name, got started. You wanted to do an antique store, something antique, and taking old things and making new things, and it's really grown into a huge store that has a bunch of vendors in there, right? Like, how many vendors do you guys have in your store?
We have about 60, 65 vendors.
Oh my.
Yeah,
you
almost
have a
all of
lot.
them are local.
Yeah, all local
And
vendors and
Mhm.
and artisans, right? And
Right.
they
Yep.
all have different things, and there's always changing, like there's always bringing
Mhm.
new stuff in and changing things out. So, okay, we talked about this before we started recording. Was how did you come up with the idea for the logo design itself? It's pretty unique. I actually worked on your logo way back whenever you guys first started, and I remember you
We
guys
did.
gave me some instructions of what you were thinking, but what kind of inspired your logo design?
Good.
Okay.
Go ahead, Jill.
So we want to be honest, which is that we were big followers of Magnolia, and when it first came out, their logo on their very first store was a whole bunch of metal letters that were different shapes and sizes, and
Okay.
they spelled out Magnolia.
Okay.
And
And
we just really thought it was
that's
cool.
Chip
Chip
and
and
Joanne
Joanne.
Gaines, right? Yep.
Yeah,
And they had a
yeah,
TV show and the big
right,
Yeah.
thing, right? So that's
right,
kind of inspired what you guys ended up
Mm.
right.
creating in
So
Reviving.
then we went to you and we said, can you put Revive together like that? And so then we played with it, and we had and company as well. It's
Yeah,
Revived
Revived
and
and
company.
Company is the full name.
And so, we just went back and forth until you made something and we were like, that's what we're thinking.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's the fun part of logo design and branding design is, going back and forth with the customer and just playing around with ideas until we get it the way you have in your head. Sometimes it's hard to explain what you want until you see it, and then it's like, oh,
Right.
that's it. So whenever I do logo designs, I'll usually do a bunch of different variations. And then when you look at a design, you'll realize that I know I don't want that one. So, we'll try something else, or maybe we'll change this or that. So that's the process of designing logos. So your logo design actually was inspired by a national brand called Magnolia, right? And we've used that logo on lots of different things for you guys over the years, right? On all your printing, everything you have printed has that logo incorporated into it. in Christmas time, I know you guys use a little Santa hat on top of the logo, and that helps
Right.
get the idea of Christmas time around. And then Bernie, you'd mentioned about the oval around it. Where did that come from?
Mhm. It came from, we thought it would be neat if it looked like an old gas station, gas pump sign, gas.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like an old
So
antique
adding the
gas pump
yeah,
with the
adding the
glass
oval.
globe thingy.
Yeah. Yeah. We had that glass globe thing we was playing with,
Uh-huh.
and it just reminded you of one of the lights on the top of a gas pump,
Yeah, so it
the
gives
old
that
ones.
idea again of an antique, something old and
Hmm.
designed in
Yeah.
an old style. So that's why there's an oval around it, and then all the different weird letters and everything's all
Mhm.
distorted and changed and stuff. So that's how that all happened. It was like it probably
Mhm.
took us, I don't know, probably a couple of weeks to actually come up with your final
Mhm.
design. And then we tweak it and change it. Sometimes we'll put different
Yeah.
backgrounds behind it or change colors a little bit sometimes here or there. So, but it's important to use, if you're going to use a logo, to use it consistently and to
Mhm.
keep the look the same so that your
Mhm.
brand becomes recognizable. Um, and then Jill, you're good at this part. What's your best advertising or branding technique that you guys use for Revived and Company?
Hmm. Well, when I first started like posting on Facebook, I would put the tagline "See you at the schoolhouse."
Okay.
And so that became something that I would say,
Mhm.
"See you at the
Mhm.
schoolhouse." And it was just kind of incorporated the fact that our shop is inside this 100-year-old schoolhouse.
Right.
And it kind of took root, I think. Like
Yeah.
that's what people think of. I think when they think of Revive, they're coming to an old schoolhouse.
Right.
And so that was the beginning thing that I played with. And as time went on, I started being consistent with how often I posted on Facebook. I don't do every day. I know that they say that you should. But we're open Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays.
Hmm.
And so I felt like if I did it strong, the nights before we're open,
Hmm.
with pictures of what was new in the shop and what was coming in, and I don't know, I just started playing with it and
Mhm.
became my thing.
Yeah.
And
So
so
on
now,
Wednesday nights you have what is it? Wednesday night window shopping or however you.
right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right, that's just
Mhm.
something that just grew all on its own, I think, as time went on. A lot of times while we're closed, vendors are coming in and they're restocking, they're working and putting new things in. So when I go on Wednesday through the shop, there's all this new stuff. And so it
It's
makes it
stuff
fun
that's the
for
first
me.
time you've seen a lot of the stuff.
First time I've seen it, first time the customers are going to see it. And so then I started taking these pictures and posting them and then calling it Wednesday night window shopping.
Hmm.
So I was thinking about why did I call it that? And I remembered that when I was little, not little, when I was like in high school, I would play the piano for the elementary schools in our town, and I would have to walk to work. I walked down Main Street, and I would pass all the small businesses on Main Street, and I
Hmm.
would look in the windows, and window shopping really was a thing for me.
Oh yeah.
I think that, like that saying we used. And so I would go and I would shop through the shops and I would window shop on my way back, and I wasn't in a hurry. I would go in the different department stores and look around and figure out what I was going to buy for who for Christmas or for birthdays and save my money and then go back and do it. And I think that's where it came from,
Oh
was
yeah.
that this is now the virtual way that you can window shop, take your time, look at the things that are new in the shop, and then, plan what it is that you would like to save for, what you would like to come in and see or pick up. And I'm just very, very pleased with the fact that it became this thing that people look forward to. So it gets shared a lot, which is probably something, that I have 65 people in my shop. It's not my shop, it's our shop.
Yeah.
And so, when they see their stuff is being promoted on my page, then they, like they all work together as a team, and they
Mhm.
all share it, or a chunk of them share it, plus I share it to other places, and so then it just reaches out, and that has helped also help the shop grow because it brings people then I'll say, "What are you doing?" And they'll say, "This is what we're doing today.
Uh-huh.
We had saw your stuff on Facebook and we decided to take the trip, and we're about an hour away." And they start, and that's been
Yeah.
happening more and more and more as people are coming into the shop
Mhm.
who saw it on Facebook. And so
And there are a lot of people from out of the area that travel in just to come to your shop. And
they
whether
really,
friends
yeah,
They
told
do.
them or they saw it on Facebook, like you said, and it brings back that nostalgic idea of window shopping, like you said, back in the day, when there was rows of stores downtown, when you walk down the sidewalk, you would look in and see what they had for sale. But now it's all virtual. And so
yeah,
you get a lot of calls or messages from people who see something on your Wednesday night
Mhm.
window shopping
Yeah.
and say, "Hey,
yeah.
I saw that thing, and can you keep it there till I get there on Friday or whatever it is?" And so it's really worked well for you, and you're doing an awesome job with that. So keep it up. That's a good thing.
Thank you.
Um, so what is our last question here? Oh, Bernie, I want you to
Yes,
tell our audience here. Um, what happened to you one time? You went to, I think it was a doctor's appointment or something,
Mhm.
and they
Yep.
recognized your logo. And tell me all about that.
Yeah. I was over at State College over at a doctor's appointment, and I followed the nurse into the doctor's office, and I had my sweatshirt that you did for us on with the logo on the front of it and on the back. And anyhow, I took it off and I hung it on the hook on the back of the door. I sit down, and then the nurse, she sit down, and she said, "By the way," she says, "what was the logo on that? Or what did your sweatshirt say?" And I said, "Oh, it's just Revived." I said, "It's the store my wife and I own." And she says, "I know that place." She says, "I love that place." And it was just neat to be
In State College.
in State College over there
That's cool.
to meet somebody that knows our shop.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and
But
that
it
that
was
that
it.
lady that saw it, she recognized the logo, or at least
Mhm.
thought she had seen it somewhere. And when she asked you about it, and you said
Yeah,
the name, then she's like, her response was, "Oh, I love that place."
yeah, and
And
we learned from that keeping consistent
um,
is the best way of advertising.
right.
As far as the logo, we've done shirt ideas where we changed it up a little and things, but it just seems to do best if you just stay with your
Mhm.
logo and be consistent.
Yeah, and just keep it simple, and that way, more times people see it, the more they'll realize, and they'll make that connection of,
Hmm.
either they know somebody that has gone there and they heard about it, or they've been there themselves, and they have a good feeling about it. Like her response was that she loves that place. Could you imagine though,
Yeah,
if she saw that logo and she said, "Ew, I don't like that place," right? That would be bad,
yeah,
right?
that would be bad.
That would be bad.
He'd be like, "Yeah, I just picked that sweatshirt up
Yeah,
somewhere.
pick that up at
Something.
Goodwill
Yeah.
somewhere. I don't know anything about it.
I think I got
But
it in a giveaway. That's why I didn't want it anymore."
but that's the whole basis behind branding, is creating an emotional response to your advertising, to your marketing.
Mhm.
When someone looks at your logo and they have a good feeling about it, then you're on the right track. And so that's what we try to do here at Biographics anyways, try to encourage people to be consistent, keep it simple, and back up your branding not only with good design, but with a good feeling, a good emotion behind it. Like whenever people come into your store, they feel welcome. They feel like, it's just a neat feeling that they're coming into an old school, that maybe they went to that school when they were a kid. Like you get a lot of those
Yeah.
stories, don't you?
Yep.
Or maybe they knew somebody that went to that school, and but when they come in, they feel comfortable there. They feel like they're part of the family, and that's very intentional on your part, I know.
Mhm.
So you build that brand, you build that customer relationship,
Mhm.
not only online, but whenever people come into your store, and that's huge. So
Mhm.
you guys are doing a good job, and I just wanted to bring you on here today on BioTalk, and just talk about what you guys have done, and maybe it'll encourage other people to jump in with both feet. And
Exactly.
Sink or
and try
swim.
something.
Yes.
Yeah. Whatever your passion is, whether it's selling antiques or making arts projects or whatever, jump in and do it. Give it a try, but be consistent. And hopefully, someone watching this today will be encouraged enough to maybe start their own small business. And we're all here to help. Small town USA, Clearfield, Pennsylvania. We're all supporting one another, so that's all we're trying to do. So, do you guys have anything else you want to add before we're all done?
Thanks for our logo.
Yeah.
You're welcome. We'll probably be printing some more shirts this year for you and
Yeah.
things like
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
we're glad to help as much as we can. So thanks guys for being here, and thanks everybody for watching. Make sure you check out Revived and Company here in Clearfield, Pennsylvania. And I'll put a link here with the video somewhere, and we'll talk to you guys all soon. Thanks, guys.
Okay. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
We'll see ya.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Now let's get branding at getingearmarketing.com.